The proofreading of these works is done by sightless experts. In some cities, instruction is given in the reading of Braille maps. The tragedy of blindness has been the lot of thousands of our people in region glaucoma, a dread eye disease, is prevalent. Many of its victims are prevented by poverty, isolation, or infirmity from receiving medical attention. To these people come visiting nurses to examine suspected cases and provision is to free clinics. With this assistance, medical science has found it possible to control a disease which is a menace to young and old alike, in many cases affecting every member of a large family. Needless to say, the staff necessary to maintain this important service is recruited from the trained workers of the regions concerned. And again, useful employment is combined with an enterprise of great and immediate value to the community. Everyone is familiar with the fine work being done by the famous Warm Springs Foundation in the cure of children crippled by infantile paralysis. To thousands who would otherwise be hopeless cripples for the rest of their lives has been given the chance to overcome their handicaps. Much of the success of the treatment given at Warm Springs and elsewhere depends upon the existence of therapeutic pools in which patients may gradually recover the use of their muscles through exercise made easier by the support of warm water. In many parts of the country, WPA labor has constructed pools such as these, and trained WPA workers make up the staffs which assist in the medical treatment. This therapeutic pool is in the James Whitcomb Riley Memorial Hospital in Indiana, made doubly interesting by Riley's immortal poem about the little crippled boy with curvature of the spine. In hundreds of cities, the Works program safeguards the health of many thousands of normal children of preschool age. In nursery schools, the children of needy and working mothers are provided with the best of care and medical supervision. Projects which are part of a broad educational program in which the WPA has helped millions of children and adults. Supervised play activities and preschool training under competent instructors removed from the relief roles are part of the schedule at each of these nursery schools. Meals are provided for the youngsters, and plenty of health-building milk and orange juice is consumed during the mid-morning and mid-afternoon luncheons. The food is prepared under the supervision of dietitians, and at all times a careful check of the health and development of the children is maintained. In these nursery schools, acquire habits which will guard their health later in life. Here is a work which lays the foundation for a new generation of good citizens. Another part of the Works program enters the field of adult education, and this subject embraces a number of widely varied projects. Some of the most interesting of the WPA projects in adult education are the classes in which hundreds of thousands of foreign-born people learn the language and customs of their adopted country. Vocational training projects are another branch of the adult education program. Many classes established in which instruction is given to men and women who will find very practical uses for their newly acquired knowledge in their daily lives. Every effort is made to adapt the instruction to the need and native ability of the student. Women are instructed in the arts and crafts for which they are best fitted, as exemplified in the millinery classes. In the same general category, we find classes for men in which the students are initiated into the art of tailoring. Through the training they receive here, they will be enabled to take up a profitable trade which will assure them of work and independence. A project which combines rehabilitation and education is found in the many household training classes operated by the WPA. Here, future housewives are instructed in homemaking and inexperienced girls from relief families are given training which will make them self-supporting. As the girls master each branch of household art, their progress is indicated on a chart. Upon graduation, the girls are placed through an employment service conducted by the Works program. To the young people of the nation, eager in their quest of knowledge, the Works program, in cooperation with the National Youth Administration, offers part-time employment to enable them to continue their education. The type of employment offered is determined by the needs of the community in which the young people live. In fruit-growing districts, canning units have been set up in which girls can and preserve fruit for local householders. Part of the product is distributed to families on relief. An interesting project in New England is that in which boys, many of them from seafaring families, are engaged in the catching and breeding of fish and the restocking of fishing grounds. As they cast their nets into the sea, the action symbolizes their search for education, security, the simple riches of life. And toward this objective, the normal heritage of every young American, the Works program offers them a helping hand. The sensitive fingers of artists are poorly suited to manual labor. And in finding suitable work for musicians and other artists, the WPA has contributed greatly to the culture of America. A typical project is this Negro choir, singing the spirituals that are the real folk music of America. Painters, too, contribute their bit to making the Works program a real and permanent accomplishment. These reproductions of the American scene of today will make this one of the most fertile periods of our country's art. Some of this work is done on canvas, but much of it is created on the walls of our schools, libraries, and other public buildings in the form of mural paintings. Of particular interest is the great mural in the mess hall of the Military Academy at West Point, depicting great warriors of history. An art long dormant in the United States is the creation of stained glass windows. One project devoted to this art has made a window for the Military Academy at West Point, depicting scenes from the life of Washington. Commemorative tablets like this are among the contributions of sculptors to the Works program, and they also create works of art for our parks and public buildings. Many American museums have long been in need of highly skilled experts to restore valuable historical material, such as this Persian ceiling, which is forming under the deft fingers of a WPA artist in the Philadelphia Museum. In many other museums, fossils and animal skeletons are being prepared and mounted for study. Inevitably comes disaster, as it has through all the ages of history. So today, flood, fire, and famine relentlessly persecute the human race. In this land of ours, so bountifully supplied by nature with fertile lands and rich forests, disaster has taken a terrible toll. Raging floods have swept the green valleys, imprisoning great cities in the grasp of icy waters, leaving destruction and the threat of disease in their wake. But in the moment of greatest need, the shock troops of disaster go into action with the courage and perseverance which armed our forefathers against despair. The shock troops of disaster, the great army of WPA workers diverted from their work of construction and improvement to meet a pressing emergency, have proven their merit through many tragic hours which have harried at far-flung areas of the nation. Working hand in hand with other agencies of relief, the men and women of the WPA take up the work of rescue, evacuation, and relief. With the first thought for the saving of imperiled lives and the protection of threatened areas from advancing waters, the orderly program goes swiftly forward.